you all about something very important this year, and it's coming down to the square year aspect of this year. Now, some of y'all might have already heard that this year is a square year. Now, there's a reason that I didn't go ahead and put this video out earlier in the year, and that's more so basically because I didn't come out with the mathematics. It's not my discovery. And so I don't like to repeat people a lot of times. And so I'm going to go ahead and keep it blunt as possible. What is a square?
Math lovers, you need to hear this. 2025 is a perfect square year. It's the square of 45, as in 45 times 45 equals 25. Subscribe.
You hear what they said? It means whenever you square something in mathematics, that's when you take one number and you multiply it by its own self. So that's number 45 times number 45. And that's where you end up with 2025, which is the number of the year that we're in. So I just showed y'all, and I've told y'all that as far as the sequence of times and the skies, the messages that are in the skies in 2020, when I made the discovery in itself, the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction, I showed y'all where the planets are 4 and 5. The planets themselves, the numbers look like 4 and 5 exactly. And I showed y'all the underlying mathematics with that, with the tetragrammaton. All right. But then you fast forward to 2024, which was last year, and you had an alignment which it does not repeat and cross over Arkansas and make an X until 2045. I might need to mention just last year. So I mean, what are the odds? And I said a pyramid is going to be started to be built here. I never said it's going to be done being built here in 2045. I mean that the United States will very well know that a pyramid is going to be built here, that a project is set out to do that by 2045. It'll be a talk that's up in the air, is what I'm saying through that. Now, it's very important, man, for y'all to understand that I can't make up any of this stuff. This is called sequence of timing. And so for you to read and hear about the stuff that you continue to hear about in this video alone, as far as what you see and how it lines up with my own discovery that you see here on the screen, this 4.5 mathematical discovery, here you go.
45 times 45 equals 2025. Subscribe for more awesome math facts. Math lovers, you need to hear this. 2025 is a perfect square year. It's the square of 45, as in 45 times 40.
So you see that the number 45 is mentioned there, right? And you see that my channel mentions the number 45 degree discovery in itself. So my whole thing is, it's not about the number 45. It's not about 4.5. It's about the powers of 4 and 5 operating as a unison, noticing a supreme display of power and almost dominance, even as far as 4 and 5 and the functionality of the universe. Not the number 45 as a number. You don't see people walking around with 45 legs or fingers. You get what I'm saying? It's not about just the number 45. 45 is a result of the number 0 through 9 as a decimal system being looped 4.5 times. So 45 is not possible without the number 0 through 9, which it also mentions here in this video, which is why I paused it, because you see it mentions 45 right here. That's one commonality.
5 equals 2025. Subscribe for more awesome math facts. Math lovers, you need to hear this. 2025 is a perfect square year. It's the square of 45, as in 45 times 45 equals 2025. Subscribe for more awesome math facts. Math lovers, you need to hear.
My bad. I thought that was going to go into more, but there's more that actually it mentions. I'm sorry about that. I think this
is 2025 just another year? Think again. 2025 is 45 squared. When was the last year a perfect square? 1936. What happened in 1936? Pope Francis was born in 1936 and laid to...
This isn't one. I'm just going to go directly to one that I know mentions.
Happy New Year to all of you. This new year, 2025, is the mathematically very important year.
I just knew you might not be able to understand him.
Oh, I will share with you. This new year 2025 can be considered as a square year because this is an absolute square of 45. And
But I do want to play this video because shout out to the Indians who made the greatest discoveries mathematically. So
if we add the square of 40, 20 and 5, then also we get the answer 2025. And also if we add the cubes from 1 to 9, then also we get the answer 2025. And
you see what I'm saying? It says when you add the cubes, and that's where I'm showing my numbers that I've made this discovery with, the numbers 0 through 9, right? But right here, you see the cubes of this. When it comes to 2025, 1 cubed plus 2 cubed plus 3 cubed plus 4 cubed plus 5 cubed all the way up to 9 cubed equals 2025. So that's all of your consecutive numbers of the decimal system right there. Just like you see all of the consecutive numbers of this decimal system. And why would you mention 0 cubed if any number times is 0 equals 0? So there's no reason to put 0 there in the lineup. But you do have every number mentioned in my lineup, mentioned in that lineup, as well as 45 being, like I mentioned in the prior, the square aspect of the year. So all of those numbers we know 1 through 9 added up equal 45, right? But then we got 45 as the square aspect of the year. 2025, like I was saying about the power of 4 and 5, you take the number 2 and 2 and add it together, and then you get 5 as the last digit when you're doing other mathematics as far as splitting the circle. All right. And so that's dealing with and I'm talking about the radians and stuff like that, the degrees of a circle. If you take 45 degrees, like you start off with 90 degrees or 360, and then half of 360 is 180, then 180 equals 90 halved, and then 90 halved equals 45 halved. And this is where the 2025 comes in. Because you take 45, which is half of 45, is 22.5, which is the same thing as 2025, digit wise, without a 0 mention. And so you then take, after what I noticed years ago was with the aspect of 4 and 5 going on there, you're taking that number 2025 or 22.5 and cutting it in half, and then you end up with the last digit always ending up 5, but the digits before it add up to be 4. So 22.5, you got 2 plus 2 equals 4.5 right there. Understand it? Well, half of 22.5 equals, I think, 12.125. So 5 is the last digit. 12.125. I can't remember what it was. I can't. No, it's actually 11.125. Let me see. I might need to recheck my work because I said 22.5. Half of 22 is 11, and half of 0.5 is 25. So it must be 11.25. And there you go. That is what it is. So 11.25. So my bad about that. That's what it is. And you take those, like I was saying, if you follow the pattern, the last digit mentioned is 5, but the first first digits, all before that last digit being 5, add up to be 4 again. And now you do it again, and it's going to be the same thing. So divided by 2, and you get 5.625. Okay, and you got 5 as the last digit, and then you take 6 plus 8, and you get 6 plus 2, and you get 8, and then you take 8 plus 5, and then you get 13. 8 plus 5 equals 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Again, you get what I'm saying? So you got 4, and then you got 5 as the last digit. And I think it's one more time, and then it ends up, it loses track, and then it starts right back. Because it turns to 30, something dealing with 33, I think, on the next one. Or the one after that, one of those, I can't remember. Okay, well, it does it again, and then I think the next one is 33 or something like that. But anyway, you can add all of these digits up, of 2.8125, which is half of the other number we just did. So you continue to half and half and half and half of 45 degrees. So when you cut 45 degrees in half, you get 4.5 working out in the numbers still. Because you got 2 plus 8 equals 10. 10 plus that 1 that you see right there after that 8 equals 11. 11 plus that 2 equals 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. And you got that 5 as the last digit. Here it is again. You got 1 plus 4 equals 5. 5 plus 0 equals 5. 5 plus 6 equals 11. 11 plus 2 equals 12. 11 plus 2 equals 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. And 5 is the last digit. You see what I'm saying? It's a content. That's something that I noticed. That's a discovery that I made as far as when you're cutting in half the similar to the degrees of a circle. 4.5 is a continuum going on there. So, man, you know, you got all these numbers right here.
And if you multiply the square of 9 and the 5, then also we get the answer 2025. And that's why this year 2025 can be considered as a square year. हमारी जनरेशन के लिए यही एक स्क्वायर ईयर है जो हम लोग एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं. इसके पहले 1936 में एक स्क्वायर ईयर आया था. 92 इयर्स बाद मतलब कि 2116 में नया स्क्वायर ईयर आएगा.
So my discovery, once I've actually finished up my discovery that you see here, as far as this big project that you see me building and things, this is all one big square, and it's all being done in a sequence of time, dealing with the creator up, you know, above and around. Okay, you have to understand that when I'm showing y'all this work, my discovery, my book that I wrote and everything, this took thousands of years, and it's beyond just me. This has to deal with a consciousness of, it's beyond humans. And I'm trying to communicate that to y'all the best that I can. And so I can't, how many coincidences are there in the world? Couldn't there been, didn't y'all say that 3, 6, and 9, y'all are the same? 3, 6, and 9 are the key to the universe. Why don't we see that working out with the mathematics of the years? You get what I'm saying? I'm showing you 45, but y'all don't understand that. I'm showing you 4 and 5, the powers of those numbers. Just like you say 3, 6, and 9, and leave out 0, usually I do too. Because it's really 0, 3, 6, 9. It's not 3, 6, 9, 0, or just 3, 6, and 9. You have to have the 0 mentioned. I'm not here to be a know-it-all. I'm just showing and proving. I promise y'all that. Because I got so much work to do until it ain't funny. Like I'm not bragging, I'm not flexing, I'm not tripping at all. I'm keeping it real, bro. When I look back at, I got a lot of work that I'm doing by myself. To where some people would be sick. They'll be like, I don't know how the hell your ass doing. So I'm letting y'all know that this has to deal with God, the creator. I'm not valued more than the Pope. I'm not the holiest person on the earth. But I do know that as far as the betterment of humanity, I probably desire better than the Pope or your priests or pastors. And I got one reason, one way that I can help you understand that, in case you try to argue. See, it's pastors and popes and priests and stuff like that that eat meat. Corey has spiritually evolved to where I care about the creator's creation enough to where I will not put any meat in my mouth. Now, it's a pastor out here that some people are considered good as I don't know what. He gives to the homeless. He donates to people at the church. Help people pay their bills and all, right? But he would never. He got a fat gut, and he eats the hell out of pigs, and loves some pork chops and neck bones and evil stuff like that. That's evil. That's stuff that people won't think is evil. Eating animals is evil. You have to think, what if it was me that was this animal? And if you don't get this, this is what I'm trying to help people understand when people question, why would God give him a discovery like that? Because people don't understand this mindset. Do you love what God created? As far as the animals that walk on the earth and everything, do you love them? And if you were them, would you want that to be you? Answer the question. Would you? Would you like to get... Why are you so okay with just looking at things like, well, I'm not them. Well, bro, I'm trying to tell you, this world ain't nothing to play with, bro. I sit up all the time, and that's why Corey made the discovery. People are questioning why Corey made the discovery. It's the mind that I got, what I realized, bro. Because I don't value what y'all value. I realize things that y'all don't. Look, when I tell you there is something that you have to realize, you can't just shrug your shoulders at the fact that, okay, I'm not born as a pig that get gutted and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I say to myself all the time, I'm lucky and I'm grateful that I am who I am. Out of all of the billions of people that are here on this earth, you are the human being that you are. But then outside of those billions of people, you got billions and trillions of other living beings, as far as, animals to consider that you could have been born as. And so my heart is there, and I recognize these things that are not even biblically mentioned. I got an out of the box thinking brain that can help people. Like, I question things like, what? The Bible is something that's written in the sequence of time. So where is the Bible at that's being wrote right now? Somebody would have to be writing about, just like they wrote a Bible based on the events that were happening back then that had to deal with the Bible. Everything happening right now has to deal with the Bible too. So there would have to be someone who's writing a Bible for after this earth. You know what I mean? If you understand that. Ever thought about that? So who will be writing about these times? You think, another way to put it is, do you think that they'll just erase what happened in these times and not record, outside of history books even? That's how you keep history, actually. It's put it in one book, and that's how that one book, they put it in one book. The main history that matters. So, besides that, man, I'm showing you that there's a divine power that's articulating and constructing things to be done through human beings such as myself in a timely manner. Now, I do disobey, some thoughts as far as, because I have to battle and question whether all thoughts are mine at this point, as far as what I'm dealing with spiritual harassment and all. But I'm trying to let you know the best way that I can that that's what's going on, man. A supreme power is here. Don't ever think that there is no creator. All right, man.